So I think you naturally have a tendency to gravitate towards people who are like-minded anyway. So take that into my adult life, and I feel like that's what I've done. I found like-minded women who want to push themselves to do more, try new things, and make the most of life, really.
Welcome to the Tales to Inspire podcast. Before we get started on this episode, I would like to invite you to our community so that you can hear more stories to inspire change within your life and positive change within the systems in which we live. All I want you to do is to click on the subscribe button. Your comments mean the world to us with anything that's resonated with you, and I absolutely love your support. I can't wait to go on this journey alongside you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Let's get into today's episode. Today, our bite-sized episode is with Mel Fielding.
I'm Mel Fielding, and this is my Tale to Inspire.
Mel, welcome to the Tales to Inspire podcast. But before we go into your story, I want to ask you more about women and supporting women in the community. So my first question to you is, how can we support women in the community better?
Depends on which community you're speaking about. I found that as I've got older, I've naturally gravitated towards certain women's communities. The outdoor community, for example, I found out that there's loads of outdoorsy adventures in the UK, and I'm privileged to be one of the women in the UK who goes out on adventures and hopefully encourages other people to go out on adventures as well. Also in the creative space, in the workplace, with your friends, with your family, I think it's really important to connect with women, especially like-minded women, and support them. I think women are underrepresented. I worked in a corporate background, and I worked in a mainly male-dominated industry. So the fact that there was a women's empowerment group at my work was really important to me.
Like we hear a lot that, we're doing so much for women, and actually, what about the other side of things in terms of supporting males and things like that? But actually, do you have an opinion on have we supported too much? Is there too much that we can ever do to support women?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if you take it back historically, women obviously only got the right to vote in the UK like 100 years ago or so. So I think we should always be empowering women to do more. I think male allies is really important as well. I know that obviously there's lots of talk about minority groups. I can really only talk about the one for me, which is that I'm a woman living in a man's world, shall we say. So yeah, I don't think there's any such thing as doing too much for us. I think that we should always be striving for more to get more equality, basically. I think everyone should be a feminist, and I think there's this misunderstanding of the word feminism where people think you have to be a bra waving, lady wearing pink, but actually it just means that you want equal rights for men and women. So men and women should both be feminists, in my opinion.
I love that. So community, what is so important about having a community, and why does that matter to you?
The word community, so I obviously had heard the word community, but I feel like it was only maybe 2-3 years ago that I started to take it seriously and actually think, I am part of several communities. It wasn't really a word that I'd thought about too much growing up, but actually it's really important to be part of a community. I think when you find a community of people that, you feel empowered by, you feel like it's an inclusive environment to be part of, you learn so much more about yourself. You feel like you can be your authentic self, and I think championing people to be authentic and feel like their true selves is really important as well.
So you've kind of stood up and created a community yourself for women. What would you say as a bit of guidance towards someone who's looking for a community? They do identify themselves as a woman, and they're looking for that community. Like, what kind of steps did you do to kind of find your own community?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know, really. How did I find my community? I think it goes back to knowing who you are and what kind of community you want, or like I said, what kind of people you want around you. So obviously people have communities, like I said, like in the workplace, for example. I'm sure if you join a gym, I'm not a gym goer, but like if you join a gym, like you'll find a community or various different things that you can do. I'm someone that's always had a lot of hobbies. So for me, my communities have always been kind of like hobby-based communities, I guess. And then through that, I've found other communities as well. For example, obviously the workplace, like, we spend a lot of our times at work. So, finding a community at work is really important. I think you have a tendency to gravitate towards like-minded people. If you think about it, take it back to like your first day at school, when you're walking into a new classroom for the first time as a young child, you kind of walk towards the people and sit next to the people that you feel like look maybe like you or like are similar to yourself, you know, like they might come across similar to you, they might be wearing the same kind of clothing as you or whatever it might be. So I think you naturally have a tendency to gravitate towards people who are like-minded anyway. So take that into my adult life, and I feel like that's what I've done. I've found like-minded women who want to push themselves to do more, try new things, and yeah, make the most of life really.